scores in the 2 games that he played against them before, and they weren't close. Has he mentioned any of the history that he's had?
Aside from him talking, speaking to the media, when we were on the panel yesterday, I haven't heard anything about it from him.
Can you talk a little bit about what your recruitment was like?
What recruitment?
To Iowa.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't any recruitment. To Iowa, yeah, there was. Coach Ferentz called me and asked me if I would like to accept a scholarship. Of course, I said yes. I don't know how some people say no, but I said yes, and that was it. Nobody really wanted me. I was offered by Villanova, and then about a day before Coach Ferentz called me, they said that they basically pulled out the scholarship while I was on my visit. So that was pretty rough. It was getting close to signing day, and I didn't think anything would drop for me. And Coach Ferentz just calls me, and that surprised me a lot. So, I knew about Iowa's hard-nosed reputation, and I said I mean, it's a blessing. So God couldn't have worked more perfectly. I'm really thankful that I get the opportunity to be part of that tradition.
Would you say that's the type of player you are, kind of hard-nosed, chip on the shoulder, maybe?
Only way I can say what type of player I am is based off what people tell me, and I really don't ask about myself too often, so I just go out and play football.
Coming from New Jersey, how familiar were you with the program?
Well, we had a couple of guys that are from New Jersey through the program. Sean Green, he doesn't live too far from me. Leroy Smith didn't either. But he's a bit way back then, like that. Guys like Albert Young, Miguel Merrick, they were all New Jersey guys. So seeing how our New Jersey guys came here and had some success, it really made it more comfortable to come and play here. Coach Wilson is, he lives pretty close as well. So he's been out of Iowa for a while. So to have him kind of as a mentor, it was a very good deal, and it made the transition much easier.
When you talk about the transition, were there any difficulties at any point?
Difficulties? Except for your usual college homesickness. Nothing. I really wouldn't have to say that, except for the usual homesickness. I say I've adjusted pretty well.
Was it one of those things that it helped, like being able to bond with teammates right away and kind of have that experience of you always had something that you could do in your free time, or you had school on your mind? Did that help?
Yes, it does, because if you weren't doing anything, you're just sitting around in your room pondering, man, can't wait to go home. Man, I miss my family, then it'll be hard. But having football, school, traveling to games and whatnot, practicing, lifting weights, studying for class, and then the camaraderie amongst the players and the respect we have for our coaches, the way they make things for us in Iowa, it makes the transition all the easier.
Tyler was talking about Carl Davis and just how much bigger he's gotten. What have you noticed with him and just what he's been able to do?
Carl Davis, he's a big kid. To be able to run the way he does, he's blessed, and he's it's like he's slimming out a little bit in the I don't know if you saw him lately, but in his midsection. So that's always a plus. He's a big kid, and you can see where he's starting to mature physically. That is.
And then yesterday you were kind of touching on Dominic Alves and how you noticed some similarities with him and Carl Klug. Just what stands out about his game that allows him to be that versatile, I guess?
To be like Carl Klug, you say?
Yeah, or just like what made you draw that comparison? Is it just the versatility, or are there other things?
The versatility and his attitude. Ask him to do anything, and he'll go and do it at 120%. He's tough. He's definitely have that Carl Klug toughness.
So do you get the sense then that the defensive line really maybe isn't missing a beat because you lose guys like Adrian, Christian, Carl, but then you talk about Carl Davis stepping up, you have to talk about Dominic Alves stepping up.
You know, you looked at, I remember when Mitch and Matt left, you know, it was a big uproar about that. Then Adrian came out and had a breakout season, and as well as did the whole defensive line, you know,
Right.
which kind of went a little more underrated because of how well Adrian played. But, you know, one reason I'm drawn to that is because we're going to lose guys year in, year out. You know,
Yep.
even with Mitch and Matt, you know, when Babineau and Roth and those guys left, Mitch and Matt came in as freshmen and stepped right in. So, I mean, you know, it's nothing that hasn't been done before, and it's nothing that isn't being done right now across the country either.
What goes through your mind when you see a bunch of the guys that you were teammates with, like in your early years, they've all pretty much moved on to the NFL or gotten a chance in the NFL? I'm talking like the defensive side particularly.
I mean, it's a big deal. You know, you see guys like Carl Klug, him and I were, the lockers were next to each other. You know, we both were about 230 the same time, 230 around the same time, and seeing how he's come along throughout the years and worked his way into a starter, worked his way into being a dominant player, and worked his way to, getting drafted, really gives you a certain confidence about yourself. You know, knowing that this guy was going through the same things as you. I mean, he made it possible.
How much more confident of a player do you feel you've become?
So I say I'm, with the experience from last year, that definitely the confidence has grown. Definitely confidence has grown.
Thanks a lot.